Okay, so we're back for part 2 now on the F1 build. We've had a few upgrade parts that they've shipped to us. These will be factory on any of the kits that you get now. They've just improved a few little things. So the main part was these are the upgraded front shocks. We had a few issues putting these together in the last video, so they've addressed these. They should be a lot smoother. And also they've redesigned part of the steering column to remove the little grub screws. So now they run little button heads which will countersink into the main part, which will make it a lot easier to put together and less likely to strip the screws. These are some rear outdrives which we'll see later in the video. And they've also updated some of the gearbox components and also some of the other housings have changed a little bit. And I believe these are more outdrives as well. We've got sent the files which have got the updates on it. So all of these parts will be factory on any kits from this video forward. Obviously there might be other parts that are going to change as they develop the car a bit more. So let's get these new shocks put together. Okay, so we've got our new front shocks put in. They're a lot softer what the stock ones were. As you can see here, a lot easier to press. Even these without the springs on them, you could just, a lot of force just needed just to move them without a spring. So with the spring included, these were pretty much non-functioning shocks at all. A lot simpler design as well on this new version. As you would have seen, it's literally just an O-ring screwed in. And it's probably going to get even smoother as it runs. So it's still got a little bit of an air pocket. When you can press it in, you can feel there's an air gap in there. So it's going to act as that's giving you your rebound as well as the spring by having that little air pocket there. So simple design, works well. So now we're going to move on to the next step, which is going to be putting the rear shocks together. Okay, so we're drawing to the end of the build here. Got these wheels together, reverse mounted, as the front's actually on the back side, as you can see by the wording here. It's just quite an ingenious way of using some pre-mount tyres and still make them look old. So next up we've got to get the driver together, which is here. We didn't really face too many other challenges, which is why we didn't stop during the build. We just carried on. Everything went together pretty smooth. Just key thing is just making sure you read your manuals, because there's a couple of parts that I sort of didn't quite read and tried to put some screws in that were too long, too short. So as you can see, it's come together really nice. That gearbox looks amazing. Unlock diff in the back, as you would have seen. You can choose the lock diff or unlocked. I prefer unlocked, it just makes it a little bit easier to drive around. Shocks move nice and free, as you can see it moving there on the back. So let's get this driver together and then we can take it for a run. Okay, so we've got the body all installed. As you can see here on the side, we're probably going to have to solid wire our motors. The bullets are sort of pushing it out. As you can see, it's splayed out a little bit on the side, but we can tackle that pretty easily. We just didn't know whether they were going to fit or not, so we just left them. Make sure that the motor rotation was correct before we bothered soldering. So once again, a few little tricky bolts, just these ones here. With this, where is it here? by the time you get to the end of the build, these little tiny hexes are pretty rounded. So it'd be nice to maybe see the head size sort of up a little bit, to maybe a little cap head, a little bit bigger, but not much bigger, and it will just make it a lot easier to put together, because then you can use a proper driver. So we're going to tackle this, and we're going to go take this out for a test.